Every day, thousands of tourists stop here to take the perfect photo. These colorful buildings have become the symbol of Curacao and one of the most recognizable waterfronts in the Caribbean. But what if I told you these colors were never part of the original plan? More than 200 years ago, Willemstad looked completely different. The buildings were painted white, just like many Dutch colonial towns around the world. Then, in 1817, a strange decree changed everything. According to local legend, the governor of Curacao suffered from severe headaches and blamed the bright sunlight reflecting off the white buildings. His solution? Ban white paint. A single decision transformed an entire city and created the colorful waterfront we know today. When the Dutch captured Curaçao in 1634, Willemstad began to grow around the natural harbour of St. Anna Bay. The architecture followed traditional Dutch styles, adapted to the tropical climate. The walls were built using coral stone, limestone, and imported materials from Europe. Most buildings were coated with lime-based white plaster. White was practical. It reflected heat, it was inexpensive, and it was common throughout the Caribbean. For nearly 2 centuries, Willemstad was a city of white facades standing under the intense Caribbean sun. Imagine looking across the harbour and seeing an entire waterfront glowing bright white from sunrise to sunset. Beautiful, perhaps, but also blinding. The story begins with Governor Albert Kikkert. According to local tradition, Kikkert suffered from chronic migraines. He believed the sunlight bouncing off the white buildings was making his headaches worse. In 1817, a decree was introduced requiring buildings to be painted in colors other than white. And just like that, Willemstad began to change. But here's where the story gets interesting. Not all historians agree. Some believe the migraine story is true. Others think it became popular because it was memorable and easy to tell. There are even theories that the governor may have had financial interests connected to paint production. Whether fact or legend, one thing is certain. The city gradually abandoned its white appearance and embraced color. Yellow became one of the first colors to appear. In the Caribbean, yellow symbolized sunlight, warmth, prosperity, and optimism. Against the deep blue sky of Curaçao, yellow created a striking contrast that instantly caught the eye. Even today, many of the waterfront's most recognizable buildings feature shades of yellow and gold. The most recognizable building on the entire waterfront is undoubtedly the Punda building. Originally built in the early 1700s, it has served many different purposes throughout its history, and today houses luxury retail stores. Its elegant Dutch architecture, decorative details, and bright yellow facade have made it the unmistakable symbol of Willemstad. If you've ever seen a postcard from Curaçao, chances are you've already seen this building. Pink buildings add warmth and elegance to the waterfront. Combined with the blue Caribbean sky and the turquoise waters of St. Anna Bay, these softer tones create the vibrant postcard scenery that Willemstad is famous for. Blue reflects Curaçao's strongest connection, the sea. The island has always depended on maritime trade, shipping, and fishing. Blue facades celebrate the water surrounding the island, the same water that brought merchants, cultures, opportunities, and challenges throughout Curaçao's history. Green represents life and resilience. Although Curaçao appears dry compared to many Caribbean islands, it is home to unique ecosystems, mangroves, cacti forests, and tropical vegetation. Green buildings add balance to the waterfront and remind us that life can flourish even in harsh conditions. Orange carries a special connection to the Netherlands. As the color of the Dutch royal family, orange has long been associated with Dutch identity. Its presence on the waterfront reflects Curaçao's historical ties to the Kingdom of the Netherlands, while adding warmth and energy to the city's appearance. Over the decades, the waterfront evolved into a carefully balanced palette of colors. No single building dominates the view. Together, they create one of the most photographed urban landscapes in the Caribbean. The story of color didn't end in 1817. It simply evolved. Today, Willemstad is no longer known only for its colorful colonial buildings. It has become one of the Caribbean's largest open-air art galleries. As you wander through the streets of Punda, Otrobanda, Charlou and Pietermai, you'll discover murals around almost every corner. Some celebrate Curaçao's history, others honor local heroes. Many tell stories about identity, freedom, family, and the sea. Every wall has something to say. Unlike a traditional museum, this collection is constantly changing. New murals appear, older ones are restored or replaced. Local and international artists continue adding new chapters to the city's visual story, turning ordinary streets into works of art. One of the biggest reasons behind this creative explosion has been community-led revitalization projects and festivals, especially in Otrobanda, where public art helped transform neglected streets into vibrant cultural spaces. Today, visitors come not only to photograph Handelskade, but to explore colorful alleyways, hidden murals, painted staircases and sculptures that make every walk through Willemstad feel different. The city is still being painted. Only now, the canvas is much bigger. Keeping these buildings beautiful is far more difficult than it appears. Every day, the facades face relentless attacks from nature. Salt carried by the sea slowly penetrates the walls. Strong sunlight fades pigments. Humidity creates cracks. Heavy tropical rains damage plaster, and hurricanes passing through the region test the strength of every structure. What visitors see as colorful buildings are actually the result of constant maintenance and restoration. Behind every fresh coat of paint lies years of preservation work. In 1997, the historic centre of Willemstad received UNESCO World Heritage status. The recognition celebrated not only the architecture itself, but also the unique blend of European and Caribbean influences that shaped the city. Today, Handelskade appears in travel magazines, documentaries, postcards, advertisements, and millions of social media posts. It has become the visual signature of Curacao, a skyline instantly recognized around the world. So, was it really a governor's headache that changed Curacao forever? We may never know the full truth. But one thing is certain. What started more than 200 years ago became one of the most beautiful and recognizable waterfronts in the world. And today, the story continues, not only through the colorful buildings of Handelskade, but through the murals, street art, and creativity that bring Willemstad to life every single day. This was another chapter of the Real Curaçao, Untold Stories. If you enjoyed discovering the hidden history behind this island, subscribe and join us, because many more untold stories are still waiting to be uncovered. See you in the next episode.